Hi everyone, and welcome to today's episode of The Daily Grind. If you've been following along, you know that I've been working on my denim jacket and it's finally finished. Alright, so I did finish the buttons and the buttonholes, and some of the designer details on this Alina Designs Hampton denim jacket included the patch pockets. I did use a pop of color on the inside. I used a beautiful purple and blue quilting cotton, which I love. And so when you put your hands into the welt pocket right here, that little pop of color actually shows. So I really like that. The sleeves, you know, what you would find on a traditional ready-to-wear denim jacket. And if I turn this around, there is that embroidery design. So I like to embroider before I cut out the back panel piece, and that's exactly what I did. If you look down here, let me just angle this down, you'll see at the bottom that I have a center seam right here. That's because I didn't have enough fabric, and I pieced the waistband because of that fabric shortage. So I have a seam over here, and I try to put them strategically so they're pretty much a mirror image. But if you look on the inside of that waistband, again, I didn't have enough fabric, so I just lined it with that beautiful quilting cotton, and I did interface both the quilting cotton on that band as well as the actual fabric. So that's not all. I finished this, and I'm really happy to wear it. I have two more in the works up here. I have to buy some hot pink denim and some turquoise denim, and I'm going to make two more denim jackets. But if I take this off, this is another project I'm working on, and I'm going to talk about this in a separate video. This is the Mandy dress by Sonia Estep Designs, and all I did was baste the side seams together. I tied it. I did modify the neckline. I made the neckline a little bit wider. I recut the neckband to my own specifications, and I made this just a very soft V in the front because it was more of a higher scoop neck and I wanted the V-neck. So I just created my own band and put it on. Now when I do this, whenever you have a V-neck, there's so many good tutorials on how to do a V-neck. I could have lapped the two layers, but I went for that traditional V-neck, which is a little bit harder to do. And when I based it on, I based it basically from here going around to here, but I do the V as a permanent stitch and pray that it turns out perfect. And it did. You really have to be very exacting and precise when you're doing a V-neck, and I was. Now if you look at the side seams here, I think that on my particular figure, I tried this on just when it was basted, side seams are basted, not very flattering. I do have to tighten up these side seams. And also, I think this is something that people don't think about. If I turn this around, okay, so on the pattern there was supposed to be a center back seam right here. I don't like center back seams, and I'm going to tell you why in a future video. What I did was I left this with no center back seam, and I created two princess seams. I have a princess seam here and a princess seam here. So what I'm going to do is tighten this up and mold it to my back for that sexy back curve right there. All right, so I like doing that because if you look at this from the side, it just kind of like is straight. I don't think it's very flattering. So what I like to do is whenever I think I would benefit from having princess seams going from the neckline down, I will recut the pattern so that I have a center back panel with no center seam, and then I will have two princess seams. So I like to tighten it up where I am small in the lower back, and then I'll show you what happens here. When I tighten it up, this naturally creates a little bit of extra shaping. I'm going to exaggerate it right now. It creates a little bit of extra shaping at the side seams. Now I don't do all my shaping at the center or at the princess seams in the back. I'll nip it in a little bit here, and then I will nip it in a little bit there. There are a lot of people out there that like a center back seam, and center back seams are very good for some people. For people like me, it's not good, and I'm going to explain why in a future video. So I am going to be covering more on fitting that back, as well as here's another project I'm working on, and it is something awesome. Whoops. I have 5 different fabrics right here. So let me put this up here. I have a pink, and these two right here, the blue and the pink, were from the same fabric collection where I work. And then I have a cotton cork fabric, and I have a light blue. I have a dark blue cotton cork. It's not cork fabric, it's a cork looking quilting cotton. And then I have this, almost like this pink, it has a hint of purple in. So these 4 fabrics right here are going to be a really beautiful jacket I'm working on. It's a Vogue pattern, it's a fitted jacket, and that's a great project to show you how I go about fitting, because the thing that I never want to hear is, oh, you're thin, you don't have to worry about pattern alterations. That is the furthest thing from the truth, because on a jacket like this, a fitted jacket, I probably average around 11 to 13 different pattern alterations to get something to fit me perfectly. And you're like, where? What? How? I will show you, because it's going to be a more of an in-depth project. I want to make sure that I have the fit nailed down. I will be doing a muslin, which is a test garment on this particular pattern, just to make sure I get the fit that I'm looking for. All right, so thanks for watching me in this episode of The Daily Grind. In the next episode, I'm going to talk to you about sewing language. All right, you guys, take care.